Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. It's been maybe a week since my last video went live and it feels like it's been 6 months. Like it feels like it's been so long. I loved making videos every day. I loved it. And I only stopped, hold on, before we go on into this journey, thank you Patreon people for your support. Thank you subscribers for hanging out with me. I'm a creative coach. If you want some support showing up consistently and authentically on YouTube, you can put some time on my calendar. Okay. Onward with my story. I just got into it and I want to keep going. So I was having so much fun making daily videos, all right? The thing was, towards the end, the way I was able to make videos every day is because I was not doing a lot of editing, you know? And I had so many ideas and I still have so many ideas and people were giving me ideas. So I had this huge waterfall of potential ideas and I was just basically coming on here, talking, doing a super quick cut and keeping it pushing, right? And I was telling this, I have a coaching client and I was telling this to my client, she's also a YouTuber, and I was like, girl, because she was like, I'm struggling to keep up with you, queen. And I was like, I'm literally not doing any editing. I just talk and put it up. That's why it's so easy. But then after that, I found myself kind of wanting to do a little bit more editing. And so slowly I started doing a little bit more editing. And then I got to the point where I was like, oh, she asked me a question about putting music in videos. And I was like, I don't do any music. I don't do no kind of music. I just begin on there chatting. And I was like, maybe I should put some music in there. So I started adding in music. And then this is what happened. Slowly as I started adding on to what I was doing, the process became a little bit less fun. Just a little bit. Noticeable. I noticed it. I noticed the sense of irritation that I was feeling a little bit. And also the sense of well, you should be doing more, you should be editing more, you have the capacity, you have the skill set, you do like to do it, it makes for a better video, why not just go ahead and throw in some filters and throw in some voices and throw in some cuts and throw in some backgrounds and play with the color. And so then this thing that was so easy and fun and flowy became just bit by bit had more and more tension. Noticeable, I noticed it, I noticed the sense of irritation that I was feeling a little bit and restriction and pressure. I was ignoring this feeling. I was literally I felt it and I was not listening. And it was this video that then, I think a handful of y'all actually got to see it, but I uploaded this video that had, all of this editing in it and it had music in the background, had all these things, and then the actual file was corrupted in some way. And so I re-downloaded it 8 times and it was so annoying because I would download it and a different part of the video would be messed up. So it wasn't I could figure out what was really going on. I tried taking out the music, tried taking out some of the effects I used. It didn't matter. For me, I assume any technical malfunction is an act of God. Anything I'm oh, what is God trying to tell me through this? And even though I believe that, I still ignored it. I was no. And so what I ended up doing is I uploaded that version onto my Patreon, the version that had the least amount of problems, uploaded it to Patreon. Then I just went and recorded another video on my phone. And this one was very chill. I didn't do any editing. I just uploaded it, put it out there, talked about my new program that I'm launching in January. It's a community for people who want to grow their YouTube channels. Just a super chill spot. We all hang out together. We're on WhatsApp. We do weekly coaching, all that kind of stuff. And it's for a month. And so I was okay, maybe this was God's way of helping me to announce this program I'm doing because I've been kind of dragging my feet talking about it. Maybe that's what it is, right? The next day, I'm it gets to the point where I'm downloading iMovie. I'm trying so hard. I'm downloading earlier versions of Premiere Pro. I get to the point where I make this one video. So I had a friend and also a fellow coach reach out to me via Instagram. She sent me this lovely voice note asking for some coaching essentially. And she said, feel free to use it for a YouTube video. And I was bet. And so I, respond to her via voice note. And I'm thinking this will be the foundation for a full video, a full 15-minute video where I talk about the themes. And I was so excited. The way Premiere Pro said I was you are really making it hard for me. But it was cool because I ended up creating this version of a video that's it's in mobile style and it just features the voice notes. And I actually really like it because it features her voice. So you get to hear her expressing what she's expressing. And that's really what I as a coach kind of tune into when I'm doing my coaching. And so you kind of get to hear and decide if you identify with what she's saying and then hear my coaching and response. So it ended up being fine, but literally it would not export from Premiere Pro and I ended up having to do a screen recording on QuickTime and upload the screen recording as a YouTube video. Ghetto. And while all of this is happening, I was thinking, girl, this is clearly a sign. And I was shut the fuck up. I was quiet. I'm not listening to the signs. I'm not interested in them. But I did. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. No, what it was is when I downloaded iMovie again, and I was like, Chimdi, are you really gonna start editing on iMovie? And I was like, no, it's cool, because this way, like if I'm coaching people who use iMovie, I'll like the way our minds can justify anything. And for me, justify not taking a break. Not taking a break. That's literally all it was. God was like, baby girl, literally chill. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want to make more YouTube videos. So I really felt like I was being benched. Like I really feel like God was like, literally sit down. And I was like, I don't want to. And then the backstory for all of this, which is like extremely relevant, is that all of this is happening and it's the lead up to my 33rd birthday, which is my Jesus birthday, and it was on Tuesday. I had every intention of making and editing YouTube videos every single day through my birthday, including my birthday, and keeping it pushing, right? And I knew, we always know what's going on, y'all. I knew why, and it's because, you know, when you work, when you do something, especially something that you really enjoy doing, something you can like pour yourself into, it allows you to not deal with anything else and not presence anything else. Even though I wasn't conscious of the fact that I was kind of entering some workaholic energy to not presence these things, part of why I didn't really think that that was what was going on is because I was still doing process work leading up to my birthday. Like I knew I had a lot of stuff around my birthday, around being seen and celebrated, around like getting gifts and getting what I wanted and getting what I asked for, around like family dynamics, around this birthday in particular, 33. So I knew there was a lot of stuff, and I knew that as it would get closer, that more stuff would be coming up to be looked at, you know? And I'm not a big astrology person, but apparently there was also some stuff happening with the moon, like on the 13th, like right before my birthday. So like there was a lot of stuff popping off, right? And I was like processing all of this stuff, and it was a lot, and I really didn't want to do all that, if I'm being honest. And I liked making videos. So I was like, let me just work instead. And God was like, no. And so as a result, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, because today's Thursday as I'm recording this, I did not make a single YouTube video. I did not set up this camera at all, did not get to see my gorgeous face in the viewfinder. None of it. I just was with myself, you know? And what's amazing, of course, is that I received all of these blessings. And they were blessings that maybe could have came while I was still working the way I was working, at the intensity that I was working at, but I think were a result of like, truly just like, okay, I'm just gonna be on my phone. Like when I'm on my phone on Instagram or something, my mindset is like, you're either a content creator or a content consumer. And so if I'm not actively creating something using the app, I'm like, I'm being a content consumer, and I have a bit of judgment around it, and I have a bit of awareness where I'm like, you know, is this how you want to be spending your time? And there's just like a bit of resistance to it. And so I was like, you know what, girl, let yourself just be on the internet. Let yourself just watch memes and laugh and look at reels and just it's okay, you know? And then as a result, I found this like really cool app that's brought me a lot of joy. I'm not gonna get into it, but it's great. I'm not gonna get into it though. I had my birthday and it was beautiful and it was really chill and lovely. And then yesterday, I really did want to get right back into making videos, but my sister was actually off work that day, and I prefer to record when I have the home to myself. And so I was like, okay, that's another sign from God to not do any recording, so I guess I'll just chill. And then as a result, I ended up like playing my guitar a whole bunch, and I'm at the point in my guitar where like I can play along with Lean on Me. I can play along with like Ode to Joy by Beethoven, like dun 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 dun. Like I can do that on guitar. It's so freaking cool. And it brought me such deep pleasure, like such deep joy. I literally was playing Lean on Me on guitar and crying. Like I was making myself cry with the music I was making with my own body. I was so thrilled and grateful and happy, and I feel like I would have gotten there eventually, but I feel like God was like, baby girl, you could be so happy, and I really want that for you, so I'm gonna like move some things out of your way so that you can have this experience that I know will make you so happy. And that's what I'm having to connect to, because the urge to work is so strong. And I don't feel like it's a bad thing, right? I love to create and I love to make videos that really resonate with people. I've gotten so many comments lately that are like, girl, when you said that thing, literally, someone was like, I literally have chest pain the way that got to my heart, what you said. And I'm like, yes, yeah, all I want to do is cause people chest pain because of the deep emotionality that my videos are bringing to them. Like, I'm so happy. That's literally all I want to be doing. All I want to be doing. It's interesting because the last video that I really made was about being consistent on YouTube, and consistent meaning every single day, but how part of my fear of doing that kind of work was this fear of burnout because I've experienced it before. And in the video, I'm like, but you know, I just feel really confident that I won't experience burnout again. Like, I'll trust myself to stop, like all these things. And God was like, girl, stop lying to these people. Literally stop. That's literally not true. And I'm like, it is true. Let me just make a few more videos. And God was like, literally, I'm telling you to chill. And I'm like, ah. And that's the only reason. The only reason I actually took the break is because I had just said in a video that when the time came when I would be approaching that burnout, that I would actually have the wherewithal to stop and do it. And God was like, and I'm like, fine, because I really didn't want to. And I think what I want is to get to the point where it's true. Like, I really can work in a very balanced way and have a life full of hobbies and a social life, and I'm going out and I'm hanging out with people and I'm like being a full person and not so much defining myself as a YouTube creator and defining myself by the video that I put out that day or that week. And I think I thought I was further along in that than I actually was, but it's all good. Life is mirroring to me, you know, where I actually am in my journey, and I'm happy with that. And what I thought was so interesting as I got ready to like get back into this YouTube space is I had this thought, which was, oh, I'm actually not in the mood to like dig into a bunch of trauma, you know? And I think that's kind of what my videos had started to become, was me essentially recapping these really deep processes I had that were at various levels of actually being resolved. I think sometimes it would be like the night before I was like deeply sobbing about something, and then the next morning I'm like, YouTube video. And it's like, maybe let's let it integrate for like 24 hours before turning it into content for the internet. And I was like, no, I think I'm good. It's alive, it's moving now. That means that people need to see it. And I don't know how true that actually is. I had a super, super deep process right before I stopped making videos. And it was actually inspired by a conversation I had with this amazing person named Doreen, who I'm actually be talking to in a little bit. They were suggesting YouTube ideas, and one of the ideas they suggested, they asked me, like, have you made a full video about childhood neglect? And I was like, no. I was like, are you kidding? I was like, you think I have the capacity to spend 15 minutes talking about how I've been neglected? No. And they were like, listen, like, this is the edges. We gotta touch these edges. And I was like, what? Them asking that question led to this whole amazing deep process. And so I think I will eventually make that video once I truly feel resourced to do it. But I also just really saw that I saw what I've talked about before in other videos, where like the world is mirroring me and helping me and showing me what is unresolved and what's unconscious that needs to be brought up. And the way people are these angels in disguise who are offering, you know, like I felt in Doreen's like Instagram message, this energy of like, hey, I think you're ready to be with this. And I'm like, this huge thing from my childhood? No. But actually the fact that they were even there to sort of invite me, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am ready to be with it. And it was huge and amazing and beautiful, and I, you know, wept a whole lot, and it was great, and I'll make a full video about it at some point. But I think the enormity of that process and the realization, and same thing, I was thinking I'm gonna turn this into a video, and I'm still thinking that. I can see how me turning things into YouTube videos is a way for me to sort of avoid the integration element and maybe even a deeper level of processing, because instead of like really being in the heat of the intense emotions, I'm thinking about turning it into content and turning it into something that I can look at and like basically turning it into an object versus letting it be my actual experience. And that's something my former spiritual teacher, who is still my fave, like part of me is like, would say about like when we want to make change in the world, it's really important that we don't assume That it's like, oh, I'm over here and the world's over there, and I'm going to fix the world, and it becomes this object because we can't actually change something if we aren't connected to it. And I think in some ways, me turning all of my emotional processes into content is a way for me to not really let it do its thing. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. The fact that I'm now aware that that's what I've been doing, I know it will change because I didn't really know I was doing that before. So now that I know that that's what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, well, let's try this whole integration thing. The other thing, and this will be the last thing I'll say, this is just like, we just gabbing, we just chatting. One thing I often think about is like the balance between like efforting and being in my masculine energy and allowing and being in my feminine energy. And I know I've spent a lot of my life in that more like masculine, doing, kind of creating, manifesting kind of energy. And lately I've been really connecting to just how much I can relax and allow and let God work, let the universe work, like let things just come to me versus thinking I need to be getting out there and doing it. And in making these YouTube videos every day, I saw such a difference in my channel, in my comments, in my engagement. And I saw what felt like clear evidence of like when I effort, when I do, I will see results in the physical world. And what I'm really connecting to is this idea that the results that I'll see from me doing something will be predictable / obvious / like I'll be able to see, like I can see on a graph, like I was making this many videos and I had this kind of engagement, started making more and I had this kind of engagement. So very straightforward. What happens when I actually relax and allow things to come into my experience, that's when those quantum leaps happen. Things that were really not in my experience at all, those get to be what I experience. It is so much better and so much different and truly like mind-boggling, world-changing, and I can't get there through efforting. It's only through allowing that these huge leaps actually come into my life. And so I feel like I was at risk of being kind of charmed, kind of mesmerized by this idea that like efforting and the masculine energy exclusively is like the way to do it. And I feel like God was like, baby girl, come back. Like you taking this little detour, I need you to come right back. And then the final thing I'll say, because I shared it with my coaching client and it really resonated with her. When I was having these issues with Premiere Pro and with uploading and all this stuff, my thought wasn't to complain and wasn't to be like, oh, poor me, or this is so annoying, or to get frustrated. It was truly to think, okay, how is this for me? Why is this happening? What is the reason for this? Because I know it's ultimately to support me in some way. What could that way be? And so at first I thought, oh, it's to promote this thing I'm doing in January, this community. And now I'm like, it was to help me to relax and actually allow blessings that were even bigger and better than what I could get from constantly uploading to actually come into my life. And I think having that framework of, oh, something's happening that's unexpected. Why is this a blessing? How is this a blessing? And having that lens be what you're looking through the world with, you get what you're looking for. You see what you are searching for. And so if you are looking for miracles and blessings and opportunities and things that are really supportive and really like affirming, no matter the situation, like editing software not working, having a glitch, you're like, this is divine alignment. This is a divine message for me to connect to my feminine energy. You know, like I can hear the way I'm doing this spinning, but it creates an environment for me where I am feeling supported and loved and in this sort of magical, divine path. And that's a really fun way to live life, right? So that's, I think, the ultimate reason why we do anything is to have more fun. So if you find yourself sort of struggling with the daily challenges that come up in your life, maybe try that and you might have a little bit more fun. All right, that's the video. I just wanted to gab. I have so much to say. I have like 50 videos in my head and I haven't gotten to make them. But it's fine. It's all for me and for you. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know in the comments what's going on. It's been so long. It's been weeks. It's been hours. It's been days. What have you been up to? Tell me. I need to know. Okay, bye.